Hello, welcome to Tutors of Life podcast, where we research life so you don't have to. Episode 490. This is your host, Shaun Tutor.
And this is Sam, and this is a Tutor episode where we try to teach you something new.
Sade.
It's another day in the car.
Yeah. Driving home, podcasting in the car.
On Easter Sunday.
Yep. Beautiful. How was your weekend?
It was fantastic.
Great weekend.
Mm-hmm. We always enjoy going up to Ashland because then we get to hang out with Shaun's family, and they love seeing us, but mainly Z-Child.
I think they like seeing us.
Yes.
They like seeing Lily.
I did say they like seeing us.
Yeah. Yep. Church was good.
Church was very good.
The pastor likes Lily, and the Lily liked the pastor.
Yeah. We've talked about it before. She's not a huge fan of most men. She doesn't see a whole lot of them. She mainly sees women. And so, like, most women can, like, hold her and she'll gravitate towards. Most men, she's like, nah, dog, I'm good. I'll walk away from you. But the pastor, she was just like, hold me.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was crazy. He was also really cool because she was loud and wanted to walk around, and he was really cool about it and was like, here's my assistant pastor for the day. Yeah. It was really cute.
Yeah.
So that was awesome.
Yeah, it was very cool. Yeah, it was a good time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always good when you have a really nice pastor and they're cool with kids. So.
Yeah.
All right, what are we talking about today?
We are tutoring about finding a mate.
The most important decision you can make in life is who you decide to marry, who you decide to spend the rest of your life with.
Yeah.
Because that person is either going to help you be better, drive you to be better, or they're going to make you stay stagnant or be worse.
Mm-hmm.
And so
And we're talking about, like, I would say your personal qualities. So not like just about your living style, like money wise or anything, like your moral qualities.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of, there's a lot of reasons that a spouse is really is the most important decision. But one of the big things, and we talked about on one of the episodes about, back when women got rights to vote, they voted to not have rights.
Mm-hmm.
Because they didn't want a divided household.
And they trust their husbands.
Yeah.
To do the research and vote for the candidate that would help their family the most.
Yep. And so you look at that, right? Or you think about that. How many people do you know that don't align politically in their household?
Oh my God. I took a marriage and family course in college, and she was like a marriage counselor for decades, and she taught this course. She actually created the course that was, like, used throughout the UW system. She was really awesome.
Huh.
She said so there's, like, two main things, obviously, that lead to divorce. One is money, and two is politics. And she straight up said, like, if when you start seeing someone you oppose on everything politically, you're destined for a divorce. Like, You should just break up with them if neither of you are going to change, because it's going to end up even worse later down the road.
Right.
But inevitably, you'll break up.
Yep.
So, that's really cool to hear.
Yeah, it makes sense. And it's someone who's got experience and, they have some stats to back up what they're saying.
Right, yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, she had seen it time and time again.
Well,
like it just never got better.
Right, and like we've talked about it, if you think about your political views, well, typically your political views have a lot of alignment with your values.
Yeah.
And, you've got conservative values, you've got liberal values, and if you try to have someone who's got more conservative values with someone with more liberal values, you're going to run into issues. It just makes sense. You're butting heads. But aside from the politics, you need to think about certain things when you're looking for a spouse. Like, when you're going to get married, if you when you're looking for a significant other or whatever, if you really want to have kids and they don't, well, that's a problem.
Right, like one of you is always going to be unhappy then.
Exactly. And so that will most likely lead to some level of resentment down the line if you decide to have kids or not to have kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so, right off the bat, you want to be thinking like, you want to know what you stand for. You want to know what you believe in. You want to know what you want. So then as you're looking for a mate, it's easy to check the boxes and see, hey, is this going to work? Because the thing is, if you think of this like an investment, right? A spouse is your number one investment.
Oh, yeah.
Let's say you spend 10 years building something. Build a life, a home, a family, and then you split it in half. Well, now you've got a fractured system. Well, that's a bad investment because your investment just got cut in half. And now, if you think about just your basic things, how much easier is it to clean the house with an extra helping hand, pay rent or mortgage, bring kids to the store, or get groceries, pick kids up from daycare, or someone stay at home to watch the kids for the daycare, earn income for vacations. Everything is so much easier when you can spread it between two. Now, if you can get past what we've been taught in the U.S., and you and your spouse can be on the same page and you can do multi-generational living in a household, think of splitting that mortgage and the land by 4.
Right?
Holy shit, now we're really on to something.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got?
Sorry, I had to yawn. Yeah, I mean, you also have to partially take in consideration, like, if they're moldable, I would say.
Yeah.
So, like, when Shaun and I started dating, like, one of the questions, like, we talked about pretty early on was, like, who we voted for. And I straight up told him, like, I was just like, I don't know, like, I didn't vote in 2016 because I did not do my research, and I was like, I'm not going to just vote for a candidate. So very quickly, Shaun could tell, like, oh, okay, so, like, this girl's logical. Like, she didn't take the time to do, like, her due diligence on which candidate to vote for, so she just didn't vote.
Right.
So very easily, like, he knew, okay, I can teach her what I know, and it won't be, like, it wouldn't be a fight for us, basically.
Right. Yep.
So yeah, it's just these little qualities that you have to pay attention to early on. Because there's so many of my friends when I was in college that were just straight up like, no, I'm a liberal, like a Democrat, and I will only vote Democrat. And it's just like, we're so, like, early on in life. And back then, too, like, I did, like, the election before that, I did vote Democrat, but it was because they were planning on taking away funding from the UW school system. It's like, well, I'm a college student, so like that directly affects me right now. Now that I'm past that, like, if that same
pull that fucking funding, baby.
Right, if that same thing was happening, I'd be like, yep, cut the funding. UW school system sucks.
For sure.
But it's because we've gone through that. We're done with that. Like, I went through it and it was a waste of time. So, yeah, I think we should cut it.
Yeah.
So that is like something to take into consideration too. Like, if they're voting Democrat, like, ask them why they're voting Democrat.
Right.
If they're voting Republican, ask them why. People ask me all the time why I vote Republican. It's because we own a business. And Republicans generally help small businesses.
Yeah.
But besides just in the political sense, obviously, I was very up in the air about, like, having kids. But Shaun and I both agreed, like, if we're going to have kids, we're going to do it once our lives are set up. Like,
yep.
we both agreed, like, we're going to have a good chunk of savings. If I want to work, I can work. If I don't want to work, I don't have to work. And we just wanted to make sure we were set up and not having to struggle once we had kids.
Right. Yep.
And, like, that was very early on. We discussed that, and we were both on the same page.
Very early on, we were like, you know what? If we don't have kids, we're going to be all right. If we have kids, we'll be all right. Like, either way, we're good and we're open to it. But, like, let's plan to have kids by X date, and let's plan to be set up X, Y, and Z by then.
Yeah.
So that if we do love it and want to go all in, we have the capabilities to do so. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's the having kids thing is huge. And you should be having real conversations about, like, when people want to have kids, you know? And
how many you want.
How many kids you want, how you want to raise your kids. Do you want to homeschool? Do you want to do private school, public school, you know? Do you want to do daycare, stay-at-home mom? You want to have a nanny? Like, you should be having all these conversations so that you know where the other person stands.
The one thing I hate about, like, how we do things in the U.S. is that we just date to date.
Yeah.
One of the times I went to Asia, we hung out with a whole bunch of Australians. And they were all 18, 19, 20 like we were. And one of them was very interested in one of my friends. And his sister was, like, telling us about, like, how in Australia, he's like, they don't date to date. Like, they date for marriage, basically.
Yep.
So most of, like, Australians will only have, like, 1, 2, maybe 3 girlfriend, boyfriends in their lives before they're married.
Right.
Doesn't mean they don't sleep around, but when they date, it is strictly, like, for marriage, basically.
Right.
And I think that's just, like, such a better idea, because then, like, you're going into it and, like, asking the right questions right away.
Right.
And so it's just a better concept of, like, setting yourself up in life.
Well, then you're not wasting someone's time.
Right.
Because if you're dating just to date and they think you're dating to marry and they're wasting their life when they could be out looking for a partner or whatever, and they're not wasting their life and missing out on opportunities.
Right. And especially here, like, generally if you have to start dating in your 30s, like, you're going to find someone that has already been married or has kids already, and that just makes it so much more complicated.
Exactly, yeah.
So, yeah, I've heard of so many stories of, like, especially women, where they'll just get dragged along by a dude for a decade before they finally break up with them, and they're like, okay, obviously this isn't happening.
Yeah, it's rough. But yeah, I mean, you gotta, and it all starts with knowing yourself and knowing what you want. And I talked to Kaylee about this, about, like, you should be working to be the best version of yourself You should be putting good things into your brain. You should be getting around good quality people. You should be eating good quality food and learning different foods. You should be exercising and being in shape so that you can be healthy and look good and be skinny. Not necessarily skinny, but like be a healthy shape. Don't be, obese. Like, the more attractive you can make yourself inside and out, the higher quality mate you're going to be able to attract. And then you know what you stand for, you know who you are, you have your disciplines. Then I'm telling you, we need one of these, right?
We're passing a Mercedes Sprinter van.
Fuck, man, those are sick.
I mean, we could fit a lot of shit in that.
That's what I'm saying.
Anyways.
But so if you have all that, your partner that you attract, you're really going to be able to vet them.
Yeah.
And see, and you've been living in a no bullshit land, so you're going to find out really quick, like, oh, this dude says he eats well and trains and all this, but he's got fucking man titties, and I see his cupboard when I'm at his house, and he fucking has little Debbies and shit in there, and then be like, okay, well, clearly he's not as disciplined as I'd like, and he doesn't actually know what he's doing.
Right.
And shit like that. And so, the better you can be yourself, the easier your, like, bullshit sensor is going to pick up on people.
Yes.
If you're fucking foggy brain because you eat like shit, don't train, fucking scroll endlessly and watch TV, and don't put good shit into your brain, don't surround yourself with good people, it's going to be so easy for you to fall into, like, a shitty partnership. And then you're going to be spending your whole life trying to get out.
Yes.
Instead of being happy and building something great together.
Yeah. I mean, that was like, when Shaun and I look back on our relationship, it honestly, we were different people from when we started to what we are now.
Oh yeah.
We both were not in the best shape.
No.
We both were not taking care of ourselves.
I could lift a lot, so let's preface that. All right.
Shaun didn't look good though.
Easy.
I mean, you obviously looked good enough for me to sit at your table.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
But comparatively to now,
questionable.
Yeah. So, I mean, we were not, like, I'm not saying we were bad for each other, but we didn't try for each other, I should say.
Right.
And that's one of the things, like, I hear all the time with, like, older couples is to make sure you keep trying for your spouse. So, like, you should always want to win your spouse over. I guess I don't know what the best way to phrase that is.
It's like you should always be
the best version of yourself for your spouse.
Yeah, but you should always be trying to, like, what is that term? Yeah, it's like win your significant other, like woo them, or you're always trying. It's like you're always dating them.
Yes. And so, like, we obviously weren't doing that at the beginning. Like, we just, like, kind of fell into dating each other and then just kind of stayed together because it was convenient. And then it was probably, we had one rough summer. And then I finally got a new job. I was off of birth control at that point for like 7 months, or hormonal birth control for like 7 or 8 months. So then I started seeing, like, improvements in the gym, and, like, we started meal prepping really, like, well, and we kind of just stumbled into a better lifestyle for ourselves. Yeah,
well, the issue was we both came from the dating lifestyle of not, like, giving a fuck and not committing, or not, like, we everything we're talking about, we were the opposite. We weren't dating to marry.
No,
we were just dating.
Yeah.
And so it's like, through that, we realized, like, you know, after a couple years, like, oh, it turns out we do like each other and want to stay together.
Yeah. It was honestly just like one, at the end of this one summer, I was just like, I think I'm going to move away. And then I got a job offer in Eau Claire. But just like me physically saying like I'm going to move away, and then like both of us thinking like that we were going to break up, I think made us realize that like we didn't want that to happen.
Right, exactly.
Because then very shortly after that, we both started trying harder to win the other over.
Exactly. So yeah, it's like we very much went through the things that we're telling you guys. We went through, like, we weren't the best versions of ourselves. We dated. We didn't like go in with our like solid values and all that shit. And it's working out for us. But what we're trying to teach you along the way is like, you can bypass that shit and just be automatically into a better position.
I mean, I will say, we subconsciously did ask all the right questions early on in our relationship.
Yeah. I mean, we always talked a lot.
Yeah.
So we talked and made sure that, like, I guess we just, as we were going, it's like, it was one of those things where,
I mean, people would ask us like, oh, are you guys gonna have kids? And we're just like, oh, we don't know. So then we'd go home and then we'd talk about it.
Yeah.
So it was just, we did talk, which was nice.
Right. So yeah, otherwise we probably would have just ended things a lot sooner than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had already figured all that stuff out, and we're like, yeah, it turns out we do agree on most shit.
But yeah, I mean, we could have gone through 2 years, two and a half years of a relationship that was very much not all there.
Right.
We could have bypassed that very easily.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, I mean, it's, yeah. The other part, or like where it's the best, the most important decision you can make. So we have like your values, right? Then, so not like, besides your values, you've got the kids. So you got your values, your politics, the kids. And those are all very important, right? And then you got money. Mm-hmm. And I always really recommend, like, don't marry for money. Marry for habits. So, like, hopefully the person you're marrying, they don't have to have money, but hopefully they're not stupid with money. Hopefully they're not in a lot of debt. Hopefully they don't, just have a lot of debt, do a lot of consumer spending, and don't like budget, track, have a savings account, things like that, right? So you don't got to marry for money. You more want to marry for habits, and you can build the money together.
Yeah, because I mean, very easily you can budget well, lower your spending, and be able to save a lot of money.
Exactly.
We have we have friends that do that, and they're like, yeah, we've saved a ton of money for down payment, but we just haven't found the right house, so we just keep adding to our...
Which is awesome.
Right.
It's super cool. But, all it takes is, like, building together with your significant other. And so, because, I mean, marrying for money, it's, it can have its pros and stuff, but a lot of the times what's going to happen is you're going to... You have one person who feels like they have the power, and then the other person is scared to leave or question things or do what they want because you support them and they need you. And so the marrying for money thing is kind of a... Be careful. If you happen to marry someone and they have money, that's all right, but don't go into it marrying for money.
Right. Like, you have to make sure they align with you in all other facets.
Right, and then the money would just be a bonus. But then, so think about it this way. Let's say you marry someone and you didn't go through all these things, and you guys, go through life, you save up some money, you got your retirement accounts, you've got your house, whatever, and you didn't go do these things, while you were getting engaged, you weren't talking about this shit. While you're getting married, you weren't talking about this shit and figuring out. And then you start having kids, you're not talking about this shit, figuring it out. Well, you're 10, 15 years deep, and you start to get you guys decide you're going to divorce. Well, now you just got hit with the biggest fucking expense of it all. 50% gone, going to the other party, if not more, if not alimony, if not child support. You're raising kids in a broken family. You don't have mother and father figures around all the time.
And who knows what the other person's gonna date.
Yep. You
have to think about other relationships that your spouse will, or your ex-spouse will have.
Yep. Maybe you had a nice house, good land. Now you both got a couple like shitty house, or like not as nice houses. You don't have the land. You're not, you just lost half your retirement. Your money got split up. It's just, it's a very harsh thing, divorce.
Yeah.
And it affects you, your kids, your dogs, your money, your relationships, because you guys got friend groups, family. So many things are affected because you didn't want to sit down and think of the long-term consequences of things.
Yep. And that's like something like Shaun. One thing we discussed is so many people make it sound like divorce is so easy nowadays, and like, oh, I'll just marry this person because if it doesn't work out, we can just get a divorce down the road. And Shaun and I, like, before we got married, basically said to each other, like, if we get married, like, we're getting married.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we both know there's very few things that if the other one does it, like, it will lead to that. But for the most part, like, and that's the thing. So, like, if Shaun had an affair on me, I'd probably be like, yeah, you're out, you're done. I should be your only person you're confiding in and doing all that stuff with, and now I've lost all my trust and faith in you.
Right.
But Shaun knows this. So he knows to not have an affair, because that is going to be a long-term consequence on our relationship, our kids' relationship, everything.
Yeah, that would not be good.
No. So, I mean, it's also good to, like, discuss those. Like,
yeah, what are the things that will... what things do I have to stay away from?
Right. Like, what will break us?
Right. Yeah, it's good to know that stuff. It's like your non-negotiables, right?
Yeah.
So knowing your non-negotiables, so you know what what the no-fly zones are.
Right. And it's good to know those things, because now, like, Shaun's like, I don't put myself in situations where that could happen.
Right. Exactly. Yep.
We know some other people that, like, the gentleman knows, like, if I'm not with my wife, like, that could possibly happen. So my wife comes to everything with me.
Oh, yeah. We know a couple people that don't go anywhere without their significant other, because they're like, I'm not putting myself in situations where I could have an affair or cheat or whatever.
And that's part of making sure you know yourself and that you yourself is the best person.
Exactly.
So obviously these men know their weaknesses, and they're just like, okay, straight up, this is my weakness, this is how we're going to prevent it.
Yep, exactly. So, yeah, it's good stuff. It's all these things that are good to know And it's good. It's really good to know before you get married. But if you're already married, you're already dating, whatever, we'll just start talking about the shit now
Mm-hmm.
and figure it out now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's better to figure things out now than waiting. And maybe you can work through a lot of these things and come up with a good ground to stand on.
Right. And here's what I'm going to say to all you men out there. Talk to your goddamn wives. It took me, like, years working on Shaun to get him to finally tell shit to me. Because everyone tells men that they can't express anything. Holy... There's, like, 50... Okay, maybe, like, 25 deer in that field over there. But there's this notion that, like, men can't express their feelings or thoughts or whatever. That's what your wife is there for. They're there for you
To confide in.
to help you through your thoughts, through everything. So confide in them. And just start. If you think you're crazy, I bet you your wife's gonna be like, oh, okay, that's not that bad.
Right.
I mean, maybe some people are actually crazy. But
Yeah, some people are crazy.
yeah. Shaun's told me some shit, and then it's funny because I'll be like, oh my god, I had the same thought.
Yeah.
So yeah, men, just start talking to your goddamn wives or girlfriends or whatever. That's what they're there for. And if you can't, then why are you with them?
Right.
Because
exactly.
you are supposed to trust them with everything.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, to wrap this up, make sure you know your mate's morals, their values, what they want in life. Real quick side note, also make sure you agree upon how many kids you want.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I've heard people of having divorces because one parent wanted 1 kid and the other wanted 3. So then they had 3 kids and the one spouse was not happy.
Yep.
So yeah, even discuss how many kids you're gonna have.
Right.
Honestly, wouldn't it be bad to just plan out your lives together?
It's a very good idea. Because you got to think, dude. Like I've asked people, I'm like, hey, do you want to be a stay-at-home mom? And they're like, no. And I'm like, oh, why is that? And then they don't have an answer. And I go, do you just not want to be a stay-at-home mom because that's what the world's told you, or because you actually have thought about it? Well, I've never thought about it. Well, okay, so maybe you do want to do it. You just haven't thought about it. So don't, just because the world says you shouldn't be it, maybe you would actually want that.
And here's the thing that shocks me too is, like, sure, I didn't want to be a stay-at-home mom. I also knew I didn't want my kids to go to daycare though. So how I was going to work that out, don't know. But I didn't think I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom until I had my kid. And, like, people are just like, how are you okay with being with her all day? And I'm just like, because, like, you just get used to it.
Right.
Like, because we've never done daycare, like, I'm used to her always being with me. And I couldn't tell you how many moms that once they hit the 6 or 12 weeks that they have to put their kid in daycare, like, they're heartbroken by it.
Yeah, they just want to, like, they don't want to have to go back to work. They don't want to have to leave their kids.
Right.
Yep.
So, yeah. So make sure you have the same morals, values, plan out your lives together. Don't marry for money. What was the other thing that we discussed? Politics. Make sure you're on the same political side.
Yep.
Or at least be flexible.
And be the best version of yourself. And that's all I got for you.
Don't date to date. Date to marry.
Yep.
Cool.
Love
That's what
it.
I got.
All right, gang. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one.
See ya.